All right, Harmony Science Academy students, welcome to the next video for our college prep class. Just a quick heads up, this is the first semester, and very important for you guys to know is that the first semester, the college makes it very clear it does not want you to be using the calculator whatsoever, okay? The second semester things will change, but for right now, they should not be used, period, okay? So all you need is something to write with, and I guess we can say your Chromebook, okay? All right. At the very top of your notes, again, this goes in your notebook. What you want to do is look up on Google the definition for real numbers, okay? You should, at this point, have a really good idea of what real numbers are, okay? Mathematically speaking. So after you get the definition, go ahead and look up examples, as many as you can, because you want to be familiar with all the different types of real numbers that you can perform operations on, okay? So that should be at the very top. The title of this lesson is Multiplying and Dividing Real Numbers, okay? So although we're not going to cover all real numbers, it's very important for you to be well aware of all types of real numbers, okay? So we're going to have ultimately 20 multiplying problems, okay? So we'll find 20 products, and as far as dividing, okay, we'll find 20 quotients. And just so you guys know, every 5 problems, the level of difficulty increases. So just so you guys can be kind of aware of that, looking out for that, okay? So let's go ahead and do some of these just at random, okay? You want to have this in your notes as part of your notes. And then once we get to class, we'll get started on the sheet itself, okay? So again, every 5, so I'll go ahead and, I'll go ahead and complete as many as I can of these, maybe going in multiples of 5, okay? So here we have -6 times -3, okay? On paper, you do want to have -6 times -3, okay? So on your papers, you want to rewrite the problem, okay? And if it doesn't require much more than just mental math, you can write the answer there, okay? Some of these will require a step or two, and you want to go ahead and jot it down, but definitely start off by writing the problem, okay? So 6 is pretty straightforward, so let's go to the next. 11, okay? We're going to have to multiply 3 of these real numbers. So let's go ahead and multiply these two, which is -50, okay? So you would write this, and you could, if you can't handle everything mentally, you can break it up in pieces. So -50 times 7, which is -350. Okay. Be on the lookout. Sometimes on these videos I make mistakes, and I love for students to catch me making those mistakes. So check my math at all times, okay? And then the last set, we can take a look at some of these real numbers besides integers, positive and negative. We also have decimals. So let's go ahead and do 17 right here, okay? I'll try and do it mentally, okay? So we've got, it's definitely going to be negative. We've got 28, carry the 2. The decimal, and 4 times 4 is 16. Done, okay? Again, write the problem, show a little bit of work when required, and then the final answer, okay? So those are some of the products. Let's go ahead and take a look at the quotients, okay? Start off with good old 21. Again, in your notebooks, you can actually write problem 21, 32 divided by 4, which is 8, okay? Keep in mind, some of this stuff, at least early on, is very easy, which is great. Okay, you guys actually know a lot of math. The college that you go to wants to know for a fact that you have this these concepts locked in, okay? And as we move along through the semester, some things might get a little difficult, but at least you'll have good discipline on setting up your notes in your notebook, okay? So it looks like everything's pretty straightforward, right? So let's go ahead and get maybe to something like this one right here, okay? So essentially this is 1.1 divided by zero point 0.1, okay? So the question is, how do we proceed on this one, okay? So there's different approaches. Here's one suggestion, okay? So you can actually turn it into a multiplication problem, okay? So this happens to be 1/10, okay? So notice how the level of difficulty just increased. We can't use a calculator, so you might have to think for some of these. Not a problem, okay? You do know that zero point 0.1 is 1/10, okay? And when you multiply by the reciprocal, that means that you now have 10 over 1. So we can go ahead and multiply by 10, okay? Which gives us 11, okay? So again, not all of these are meant for you to just shoot through them. You're gonna have to think about some of these. So enjoy the earlier problems once you get down here. Okay, just kind of put some thought, get with your shoulder partners. You guys kind of hash that out, okay? And the rest of them are similar like that, okay? You're gonna have to put some thought, get creative, all right? Case in point, you might do something like this, okay? I may or may not finish this one, but let me give you an example. So 8 nines, okay? We can definitely do something like this, right? 89, what? Tenths, okay? And if we decide to multiply it by the reciprocal, let's keep in mind that, right, we have 25 tenths, right? That's 2.5. If we decide to multiply by the reciprocal, right, then we have 10 over 25. So then we could take that and multiply by 10 over 25. Okay? So we'd have 890 over 250. Okay? Notice how you're going to have to get clever. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? But please don't cheat the system. Don't just look to put whatever. Really think this out so you can mature in some of these more advanced problems. Okay? So if we continue this further, you guys should know that both of these are divisible by 10, so you can cancel that out. Okay? And at least at this point, we can leave it at that, okay? If you wanted to reduce it into a decimal, then you'd have to go and do this part, right? So how many times does 25 go into 89? 3, right? Some old school. 75. Subtract 140. How many times does 25 go into 140? It definitely goes in 4 because that's 100 and one more. Okay, so that's 5. So that's 125. Okay, so now we have 150. How many times does 25 go into 150? 6. And it goes in perfectly. Okay, 6 times 25 is 150. Remainder 0. Okay, so that tells us that this is the exact answer in decimal. Okay, so notice that some of these will require more work towards the end. Take the challenge on full steam. Okay, all right guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in class.